Should we sell our first home, or should we sell our home first, or should we buy our next home first? It seems like a simple question, but there's a lot riding on that answer, and the right answer is different for everyone. Today, I'm going to break down the pros and cons of each approach so you can make the decision that is right for you in this situation. This is video 3 of a 10-part series where we will be discussing what to do during downsizing, all things downsizing. So the first thing, if you want to sell first, which for most people is actually the less stressed path, this is what you want to do. And it's usually the less stressed path because when you sell first, you know exactly what you have. You don't have to question it. You know your net proceeds. You know your budget. You know you can shop for your next home from a position of clarity as opposed to uncertainty because you know exactly how much money you have. You can also avoid carrying 2 mortgages at one time or 2 sets of expenses, right? You're not paying for the house you currently stay in plus the house that you find, which can be financially and emotionally draining when you have to take care of 2 sets of bills. Okay. And here's something that surprises people in today's market. A contingency-free offer can be a much more attractive offer to a seller. So if you have already sold, you can quickly move and negotiate from a stronger position than if you still have to find a home. All right. So the main downside to waiting to sell your home, the main downside to selling your home first is you may temporarily have to live in a situation where you are kind of in limbo. So that means doing a short-term rental or staying with family or negotiating a buyback or rental buyback agreement with the buyer where you sell your home but continue to live there for a period of time while you find the next place. This is more common than you think. And a good agent can help you negotiate this within your sales agreement. Okay, so those are the things to look out for if you are like, hey, I want to sell my house first. Now, some things to consider if you are going to buy first. Okay, to some people, it makes sense to buy first, but it is a little bit more complex. So if you find your dream home before you sell your current home and you don't want to risk losing it, buying it first lets you secure it before you've sold your current home. That peace of mind can be very valuable, especially if you have a very specific need in your next home. Okay. However, it's important to know that buying before you sell typically means carrying 2 properties at once. We just talked about this, or at least for a period of time. So this means you have 2 sets of costs. And for most people on a fixed income or any income, that can be a real strain. But your lender would let you know that when you, communicate with them that this is something that you're thinking about doing. Another risk if you buy first is that if your current home takes longer to sell than expected, you could find yourself in a difficult situation financially and emotionally. Markets shift. It happens all the time. They go up, they go down. So no sale is guaranteed until it closes. So you're probably like, Shannon, this is a lot of information. How can I decide? I'm happy you asked. Here are some questions that I would walk through and that I walk through with my clients when they're making this decision. How strong is your local market right now? If homes in your neighborhood are selling quickly for a good price, selling first is lower risk, right? Your agent can help you get a realistic sense of how long your home can take to sell. When they give you your CMA, they're going to tell you the average list days on the house, right? So you'll know that. How flexible are you on temporary housing? If you can comfortably rent for a couple months, or if a family can host you, selling first could be an easier option. So how specific is your vision for your next home? If you have a very particular wish list that limits your options, you may feel more urgency to lock down the house when you find it. I had a very particular list when we purchased our first house. So any house that I found that didn't have the tub and the toilet next to each other was on my list, okay? And finally, what keeps you up at night? For some people, it's not having their current house sold yet. For others, it's not having a house picked out yet. So you have to know yourself and be honest with yourself and what you feel most comfortable with, okay? And that's the way that you want to lean. So there's no universally right or wrong answer here. Both paths can work, and a good agent who knows your local market can help you weigh the pros and cons and the risks and the benefits to your specific situation. It's specific to you as the homeowner. So what I will say is this: the worst position to be in is making a rushed decision because you didn't plan far enough ahead. Nobody wants to make a rushed decision because usually when we make rushed decisions, they're not that great. So whether you sell first or buy first, give yourself some time to think through it. All right. And next video, we're going to talk about something that doesn't get discussed enough in real estate, in my opinion, which is the emotional side of leaving a home you've lived in for years. It's real, it matters, and I want to help you prepare for it. So subscribe so you don't miss that video, and I will see you there. Thank you.